March Madness magic creates stars from overlooked NCAA talent. Everyone has heard of the top lottery prospects, but it's the second tier of players that the New Orleans Pelicans should focus on in the upcoming NBA draft. The conference tournaments are settled. Selection Sunday determined the layout of the brackets. The 2019 NBA draft has several potential stars, but only by trading Anthony Davis could the Pelicans realistically acquire Duke's Zion Williamson, the obvious best player and future. Currently, the Pelicans have 2 second-round picks, plus a likely trade haul for AD containing 1 or 2 more 2019 draft selections. With several draft selections, it is okay to hope for one of the top talents available. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, or even Ja Morant, if you believe in his hype, could end up in New Orleans one way or another. The Pelicans will have one of the worst records to end the season, especially if the ending of the Suns game on Saturday was any indication of future tanking intentions as the season winds down. If the Pelicans can somehow land a top 3 pick with their own draft slot, the Anthony Davis asking price would likely be altered. Falling out of the top 3, the type of player the Pelicans need to seek changes. With multiple picks, the Pelicans can take some risks in the draft, but at least one selection needs to be a solid contributor. For this exercise, let's look at each position and a few under-the-radar players that should at least get a summer league look, if not a draft night snapback. A picture with Adam Silver. Page 2 New Orleans Pelicans NBA Draft, photo by Andy Lyons, Getty Images. Drew Holiday should be a Pelican for life even if it requires a max extension every year for the next half-decade. That creates a bias when scouting guards. If the Pelicans front office does not agree with this assessment for keeping Drew happy at all costs, they should maybe follow Dell Demps out the door. Drew is a combo guard capable of creating pressure with or without the ball. If retained, Elfrid Payton is the newest triple-double machine, and arguably more efficient than the Westbrook model. With Frank Jackson, Holiday, and possibly Payton coming back to New Orleans, the Pelicans will likely use their highest pick to draft a wing or big. However, plenty of solid role-player guards can be found after the lottery selections are made. One of the longest shots to be drafted, LSU talent Tremont Waters, so would be a great choice to bring in some local interest. His ceiling would be to fill the developing guard spot Jackson occupied while finding his way into the rotation. A sophomore, Waters is scoring 15 points per SEC contest. He shoots about 5 threes per game, hitting on a 33% average. He shot a better average in his freshman year and has generally regressed statistically in his second year. He may get a cup of coffee in the association, but will need to find better ways of dealing with the added pressures. This season, the larger role led to more isolated play and turnovers. Any Venn diagram of SEC followers and Pelicans fans would be better served watching Tennessee G. Admiral Schofield, Sr. A 4-year, almost finished product could serve the Pelicans well in the next 2 years. Freshmen need years of weight room training to really fulfill potential, so Schofield is already ahead of the curve in this area. Schofield may need total basketball immersion in the NBA that NCAA time limits do not allow before really taking off. Schofield could play the small guard or shooting forward positions on offense. He is a senior but raised his three-point shooting percentage every year. What started at 30% ended above 41%. He is turnover-prone when overused as the point, but he is unlikely to unseat the current ball handlers, so this might not be a huge issue in the NBA. Kentucky G. Ashton Haggins, Fr., and Vanderbilt G. Darius Garland, Fr., are the other 2 SEC talents that will likely be drafted after the lottery. Haggins is on a blue blood team that will be featured for the next week. Garland was unable to lead Vanderbilt to an SEC win, so buyer beware. Page 3 Use your arrows to browse New Orleans Pelicans NBA Draft, photo by Andy Lyons, Getty Images. The Solomon Hill contract will expire or be traded within the year. Rejoice! Pelicans fans, we can have hope from the 3 spot soon. Too many trade hypothetical situations exist to speculate on what veteran will be added to provide leadership to the young guns acquired this summer. Instead, the Pelicans should look to draft a high-motor maniac to match a late find like Draymond Green or Pascal Siakam. Golden State, Toronto, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City are able to find role-playing game-changers late in the draft. In order to build a proper small-market contender, the Pelicans need to buy as many cheap draft tickets as they can. In Demp's era, the Pelicans shed draft picks for young veteran commodities. No other commodity is changing the NBA more than a versatile wing capable of defending multiple positions and spacing the floor with efficient shooting. It would be monumental for the Pelicans to score on a guy like this in the draft. Kentucky's Keldon Johnson, Fr., is a borderline lottery pick who needs a couple big NCAA tournament games to solidify a draft position in the 9 to 15 range. Looking beyond the lottery, Johnson's backcourt running mate PJ Washington, is averaging 14.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 1.9 assists this year. His motor in the backcourt is now much more disciplined in his second year. With more minutes, he has fewer turnovers and fouls but an increased number of steals and blocks. However, shooting 41.9% from the arc seems to be an anomaly judging by his 66% clip from the charity stripe. Use your arrows to browse.